So, how you doing today? How's your dog?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Good.
How are you guys doing?
Thank you for coming along.
I know.
My name is Kat,
I'm Des.
and today we have Omar. We're two girls, no cup. We wanted to talk about relationships today. I'm so glad that we finally get you on because you're our first guest. He's our first guest?
Our first male guest.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool, huh?
Oh, wow.
I didn't even realize. First male
Yeah.
guest. So that's pretty cool. I feel like I always see you like at the gym, but like we don't really talk. Or like we talk, but it's like I just talk about your dog all the time.
You come up to me and tell me you saw my dog that morning.
Yeah, it's because you guys don't know, which you guys obviously don't know. He and I are neighbors, and whenever I like go somewhere, I always have to pass by your house to get to the freeway, and so I always see your dog. Roddy?
He's always sleeping, right?
You know what? Sometimes she's scratching like whatever. Yeah.
She's a Rottweiler and a Husky mix.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought she was just Roddy.
No, she's a Husky too. If you see her paws and her tail, she has like a little bit of white. And her face is actually more elongated.
Oh my god.
Whereas like you know how Rottweilers is like a little more
Flat.
flat?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she has like a longer snout.
Oh my gosh, you have to show me pictures later.
I'll show you a
Because I've
picture.
only seen her like from far away. And I always thought she was a Roddy.
No, she's a Husky
Oh
too.
my
yeah.
god, that's so cute. Does she have, so you know how Huskies are really like loud?
She's not loud, but she has a lot of energy.
Oh, I love
Like I'll
her.
get home and she zoomies like throughout the whole yard.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
Yeah.
How old is she then?
She's 4 now.
Oh, she's a baby. This whole time. You got her as a baby?
I got her. No, actually, when I got her, she was like pretty much already like that size.
Oh.
So there's a huge story behind that. I'm pretty much. It was meant to happen. The way I
Really?
met her, yeah.
Well, tell us the story.
Okay. Hey! I didn't want to go on a tangent. I don't want to go on a tangent.
Go on the tangent.
So during COVID, I was desperate to find a dog because there's nothing to do during
You're
COVID.
like, I'm lonely.
And I also I didn't have a dog for a while. So I was like, okay, I want a dog. At the time, and this kind of touches on the subject about relationships because I was with my ex-girlfriend at the time. So she was helping me look for the dog, and we were on OfferUp, we were on like Craigslist, we were just going to like the shelters, doing everything.
Yeah.
And finally, she got a hold of one person on, I believe, Craigslist, and she sent me like the address and everything. It was all the way in Linwood, so
Oh, so
No.
Inglewood area, huh?
Inglewood area was kind
Yeah.
of like the hood.
Yeah. I love it there.
So I drove. It was like a 45-minute drive. I still remember. I think it was in the morning. I had just woken up, and like the first text I saw, I found a dog. So I was like, wiped my eyes, and when I got in the car, I started driving to Linwood, and when I got there, the guy came out, and he was like, "Oh, okay, like what's up?" Like introduced himself and all of
Yeah.
that. He's like, "I'll bring out the dog right now," and me thinking because the picture that my ex-girlfriend showed me, it was like a little Chihuahua. I was
Oh
like,
my
okay,
gosh.
I'll go with the small dog. They bring out this big dog
Big ass dog.
everywhere. Dude, in my head, I wasn't doing it visually, but in
Yeah.
my head, I was like,
What the
what
heck
did I
did
get
she?
myself into? So I told the guy, I was like, oh, let me just go get the money because I didn't pull out the money yet.
Yeah.
I actually didn't because,
You weren't
You
sure.
wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I get my Chihuahua.
Exactly. So I didn't pull out the money and I told him I'll be back and I left and I called my ex and I was like, hey, like this isn't the dog. Like, and then she told me that I guess like the names got mixed up or the numbers. So I was like, man, should I buy her? Like, I don't know. Like, she's big. And I don't know. Something told me to just do it. And I just did it.
Yeah.
And I ended up going back and I was like, I'll take her. Like, I'm already here. Like, here's the money.
Aww.
And then I took her, and then like on the way home, she was just like sleeping in the back. And then the first thing she did, I still remember, I let her into my house, and she went like straight to the backyard, like through like
She's
my
like, that's
whole
my
house.
home.
And she's like, okay, settle herself in, and I was like, oh, she's very comfortable.
That is so
And
cute.
ever since then, I mean, probably one of the best decisions I made.
Aww. What's her name?
Shiva.
Shiva.
So in Hindu mythology, Shiva is the god of destruction.
Ew.
And I named her that because when I first got her, she would destroy everything.
That's why.
And she'd chew up wires. She would chew up my glasses.
Yeah.
I think one time she destroyed my AirPods.
Oh my
boy.
gosh.
Which sucked because like I was like playing music on my phone. I was like, why does it keep like going off? It was connecting to my headphones, and I was like,
Oh my god. Have you seen the stories where dogs eat the AirPods and it like plays in their stomach?
I have not.
I've seen them. Have you seen those videos?
No.
Oh
That's
my god.
I've only seen
Hey.
the dog poop the Orbeez. That was recently. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah, there's this video of this dog and he's like squatting and he's pooping, right? But all that's coming out of his butt is Orbeez.
You're gonna have to put a thumbnail of that in the video.
That is so funny. Oh my gosh. Well, that's cute. That's cute, Orbeez. Shiva's such a cute name, actually. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. So you, like, after that, when you got your dog, was that your dog or just yours and your ex's?
That was my dog.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
So she just kind of helped me find a dog.
Oh, I see. I see. And like, how long? Well, not trying to get into it, but
You dove straight into it.
I'm trying to find a segue here.
I threw you the lob. Now you gotta catch it.
No. Well, here's the thing. Well, what was your initial thought when we reached out to you saying that we wanted, you to be on a podcast regarding relationships?
I will say I was like, well, at first I was like, oh, you have a podcast, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then I was like, about relationships, okay, that's not sensitive, but it's a little bit touchy.
Yeah.
I was iffy on it, but I figured I would want to put myself in the uncomfortable situation.
I love that.
Just to
Yeah.
kind of like help myself like be more comfortable like on camera and like speaking about these things. So that
Yeah.
was my initial thought. And then coming here, I was a little nervous, but I was like, all right, I just gotta go through with it, type of thing.
So you were nervous, but you stepped out of your comfort zone. You know David Goggins?
Oh
Yeah.
God.
I love David. He is. There are
She
two people.
doesn't shut up about David
There are
Goggins.
two people I follow.
So she's like David Goggins about David Goggins.
Yes.
Yes. There are two people I follow: Jesus and David Goggins.
David Goggins.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
pretty much.
ridiculous.
Well, I'm glad you like stepped out of your comfort zone. I feel like a lot of people don't know their true potential. Like he even says that, you don't know your true potential until you step out of your comfort zone. Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, that's actually why I did it. I think I did it more, well, I did want to talk about like all this and also help you out. But I feel like, okay, this is like a situation where it's uncomfortable, so it's like opportunity.
Yeah, and you have your brand out, right? The
Yeah,
new brand,
yeah. Also, this
Power?
is my shirt, yeah. So I did Halloween theme.
Yeah.
It's a streetwear, but sometimes in some of the graphics I add like something that's related to the gym.
That's cool. Yeah, it's gonna come out when? Oh, it's already
It's already out. Yeah. So I just dropped it on the 1st of October.
That's cool.
I'm actually pretty much already sold out of shirts. I
Oh.
still have sweaters. But yeah, it was actually a pretty fun drop, just because it was like themed.
Because I know you've had businesses before. Like I know you had your juice business. What came into your head when you wanted to do your brand, your clothing brand, and Halloween specifically?
So this like specific shirt was more for the month of October, so that's why it's like Halloween themed. But the overall aesthetic and I guess presence of my brand would be streetwear and like a little bit of gym.
Oh, cool, yeah.
So like in this one, I mean, there's not anything really gym related, but like the other shirt that I dropped along with this one, there is. It's like a Grim Reaper holding like a dumbbell. And it says something kind of motivating right here. It says time doesn't stop. And it pretty much has like, just like little things.
Yeah.
Like that kind of.
For the gym too.
Yeah, like the gym or
Yeah, that's
whatever
cool.
that is regarding.
So you're gonna have something for Christmas?
I am actually.
Ah,
So
are you getting a sneak peek or what?
no sneak peek yet. I need to do some research on some stuff.
Yeah.
But
You
I
have
wanted
Santa
to
Claus working out.
Yeah.
Santa Claus working out, something similar. Actually,
Oh, I'm on something.
She just solved the puzzle. That
one
was-
of the I'll give you a hint. Maybe if you check out my page later, one of the designs is based off of an older design. So it's gonna be the same style, but obviously like a different like photo or like theme.
Cool. So when is that gonna drop then?
It's gonna be in December. I don't know what day because it's gonna be a big drop.
Yeah.
I want to do hoodies, sweats,
Oh,
shirts,
cool.
possibly beanies and gloves, like mittens.
Ooh.
That's cool.
So it's a big drop and it takes time. So I can't give you like a time estimate, but for sure before
Yeah.
Christmas.
So Power is your baby.
Yes, Power
That's
is my
cool.
baby.
And you started Power like in October then?
No, I actually started it in June, so it's been a
Oh, I didn't
little
know
over
that.
a year now.
Oh, so
Oh.
what did you have before Halloween?
I've had a bunch of drops. So I did the last one before that was for men's, or not men's mental health, but overall mental health. I dropped it on Men's Mental Health Month.
Oh,
So
cool.
usually Mental Health Month is first, and then Men's is the next.
Yeah.
So I created the idea during Mental Health Month, and then dropped it on Men's.
That's cool.
But it's not exclusive, you know. It's
and it's,
Yeah.
for everyone.
It's been going out ever since. That's cool. All right.
So it's fun to me. You know, I told myself I wanted to do this more for the fun of it rather than trying to like make
Yeah.
like
Money.
money off of it. I
We
feel like the
totally
money
get
will
that.
come. Like the money
Yeah.
will come, you know? And
Yeah.
when you do something that you like, the money will come.
Because if there's no passion behind it, what's eventually you're gonna
Yeah.
run out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at least you feel fulfilled.
I do
Yeah.
feel fulfilled actually because I have a lot of fun making like the designs and like drawing.
Oh, so you designed this?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
this whole time I thought you hired someone to do this.
So I draw the photos and an actual like designer like does the computer graphics part.
Oh.
So I wanted to get into that like sector, but it's like a whole another thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole another.
That's something you need to get out of your comfort zone too.
Yeah. No. I do want to eventually do it, but I'm like, man, that's another project to dedicate time to.
No, I feel like that's a smart way to do it though, because if you do too much on your own, then that's like a lot of
Overwhelming.
pressure.
Yeah.
That's a lot like mentally for you to be like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this.
Yeah.
Or at least you could like delegate.
You know what's crazy? I always feel like you've always kind of been like, I don't really agree with the word self-made, but I feel like you've always been like in high school, you were known as the fitness guy. You know, like I feel like in the beginning of high school, you lost like a lot of weight, right?
I did, yeah.
And then you built a brand for yourself that surrounds, fitness surrounds it. And like you become like this person as a fitness guy.
Yeah, I appreciate that because I mean, I feel like little things like that I wouldn't expect people to remember, but like.
Oh no,
Yeah.
not at all. No, we remember because I feel like in our high school, nothing really was going on.
That's an understatement.
I mean, no, I'm not saying that, but it's like when that happened, we're like, oh, that's so cool, and then you started getting big on Instagram. You're like, oh, that's even more cooler. Like that was pretty cool. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. No, yeah, it's I used to be very like self-conscious when I was in high school. So like I figured, okay, the gym would probably help with that.
Yeah, that was freshman year when you started losing that
It was
weight.
like sophomore year. It was going into sophomore year.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember because I remember even in high school that you were the quiet guy.
The quiet-
You were the quiet guy, but you and your friends were all quiet. No, I'm not even joking though. I'm not
Yeah,
even
we're
joking.
pretty
You and your
quiet.
friends
Literally.
were the quiet ones. Like you, I'm not gonna say their names, but like the guys you still hang out with. You guys were
Yeah.
all pretty quiet, but you guys were all in fitness, right? Or cars?
Cars, fitness, like similar things.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Like some of us were like more into fitness than others. Some of us were more into cars than others, but like still into both.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I guess that's our next question is like delving into like the dating scene. I think what you
Oh yeah. So like building your brand. We know you're a trainer. So like building a career for yourself in a sense. How do you think that has affected your dating life?
Elaborate on that question.
Like, I'll just kind of give an example because obviously, like, this is the only framework I have to work from. My dad used to bodybuild.
Okay. Oh, wow, that's cool.
And when he started dating my mom, he tells me, like, when I started dating your mother, like, it was hard for me to go to the gym as often as I wanted to or to work out as often as I wanted to because now I had this relationship or I was trying to put energy into this relationship. And it's not so much of like a you can't have both or you have to choose. But do you think like being so focused on like your brand or like training people has like caused you to put all your energy into that and therefore like
like strain some relationships with people. You know what? I like the way you elaborated that question, by the way. So it actually hasn't in the beginning, but I think actually that was a bad thing because I felt like I was putting all my attention towards this person and I stopped focusing like on myself and like my own things. So in the sense that like yeah, it has changed the dynamic of like certain relationships like then or now and probably like ongoing. I think it's for the better, for sure. Because it taught me how to like delegate my time. So like put some time into this person, put some time into myself, like into the business. But it does get difficult. So I think in my perspective, it's more important to focus on what is important to me right now. And then with whatever I have left, like make sure it's going into my relationships. Because at the end of the day, my relationships is what's like most important to me. Like whether it's with someone intimately or with like my friendships or like my family.
Yeah.
You must be good at time management.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, how long did it take for you to even master that though? Because I'm assuming in the very beginning, like your first relationship when you were starting to develop yourself, I'm sure it was hard for you to one, recognize that you were giving time towards one person versus another thing. Well, how long did it take for you to master that?
That's a good question. Well, first off, to answer or to have an answer to what you said, my time management's getting better. It's not that good, but it's getting better though. I'm making improvements. And then to answer your question, I honestly, it's been like over the course of, I mean, I'd say a year because I've had my brand for like a year. And that's why usually when people ask me like how long I've had my brand, I tell them like a year. But I only started really taking it seriously maybe like 6 months ago. So like
okay.
half of the year and so forth.
Yeah.
So forth. So maybe like around like a year to start working on it. I wouldn't say like I'm perfect at it.
Yeah, with your time
to
management
start like
and all
working
that.
on it and all of that. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, a year. I mean, that's a
I
good
mean, a
amount
lot
of
can
time.
happen in a year if you really just like dedicate yourself
Yeah.
to like.
It's true.
Well, see, now my question is, like, obviously your life is surrounded by your brand. You're at the gym. You know, you're a personal trainer. I'm assuming you work every day.
6 days a week.
Yes, well, 6 days a week. Well, would it be, have you found yourself finding it easier to date within the gym community? Or, well, I want kind of maybe elaborate on like the type of women that you go for. Do you find yourself more drawn to women who know the lifestyle, like the hustle of the gym lifestyle?
I would say I'm drawn to anyone, well, not anyone, but like people that can make me feel comfortable chasing what I'm chasing.
I love that.
So I wouldn't want to be talking to someone who makes me feel like I have to put all my effort and resources. There's a difference between wanting some of someone's attention and wanting like all of it. So I think it doesn't really necessarily matter if they're like in the gym community or if they like know what I personally want, just as long as they support me and they're there. I guess that's really
like,
what matters.
I feel like you're even explaining like understanding with time, like how you prioritize certain things. You want someone that's understanding.
Yeah, like someone who can understand. Like they don't have to completely get it, but just the simple concept of like time management and allocation.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that because I feel like me me personally, I've dated some people who were personal trainers and they've always said I just need my time to be respected. I hustle all day and I just want to be able to make sure that this girl isn't nagging at me. Oh, come on. You know what I'm saying? So would you say it's like the same thing then?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
More like you desire a partner that, I don't know, I'm trying to find a better word for the nag.
I think it's you want someone who's whole already.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're whole.
Yeah,
You don't need
exactly.
each other to be whole. It's two complete people
Together
that are
as one.
choosing to be together. And because she won't be reliant on you to like fulfill certain needs because she's already complete without you, then like she can respect your time.
You got it right there. Right on the money. Yeah.
like,
I want to
This is your energy.
So just to put that, like, to kind of compress that and answer your question, yes, I do. I want a connection, not an attachment.
I love that. Speaking of attachment.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Okay, no, okay. So the last 6 months, I told you I was kind of MIA from everything, right? I kind of delved into like studying a lot about relationships. Okay, I got into. Have you ever heard of like attachment styles? The theory of attachment styles.
Disorganized and all those.
Yes. So if for the people who don't know, there was this like study back in the 70s. Dr. Bowlby, he was the guy who studied this attachment style. He basically said that there are three main types. There are technically four, but there are three main attachment styles. One of them being the anxious attachment style, the secure attachment style, and then the avoidant attachment style. And normally, the anxious attachment and the avoidant are drawn to each other. And so what he did, he put a bunch of babies together. He put a bunch of babies and mamas together.
This guy was experimenting on babies?
Yes.
That's crazy.
He put a bunch of babies and mamas together, okay? So he put baby and mama in a room. Baby has like a crib, toys, whatever, and there's a stranger in the room. So mom starts talking to the stranger, starts interacting with the stranger. Mom leaves the room. So what he did was he studied what the babies did, their behavior. So when mom leaves the room, the first baby would cry, obviously your mom is gone, start crying, whining, exhibit signs that they're in distress. When mom comes back to help soothe the baby keeps crying. The baby keeps crying, doesn't know how to self-soothe. Mom's back, but I'm scared that she might leave me still. So that's why I'm still crying. I'm trying to self-soothe. So the first baby is the anxious attachment style. The next one is the secure attachment style, where mom leaves, baby starts crying, like baby's in distress, starts whining, all that stuff. Mom eventually comes back and says, okay, mom's back. I'll stop crying because I know she won't abandon me.
Okay.
The last one is the avoidant attachment style. Mom leaves the room. This time, the baby doesn't exhibit like specific symptoms that they're in distress. They'll have like a heightened heart rate and all that stuff, but it won't be crying. Baby won't be crying, whining. And when mom comes back, it's like nothing happened. But these types of babies are like, okay, mom left me. I'm used to you leaving. So I'm not going to
care.
I'm not going to care because what's the point, So like I said earlier, like the avoidant and the anxious they are drawn to each other. So there's like this push-pull type of reaction
Like
where
dynamic.
where the anxious craves intimacy and craves intimacy, where the avoidant kind of pushes away from intimacy and is scared of intimacy. So it's like a push-pull.
Yeah.
The more this pushes, the more this pulls. And they say like the more secure attachment style is the hero of the relationship. So like when this secure person meets an avoidant or an anxious person, they can actually fix the relationship or fix the dynamic of how the relationship should be.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know if you knew that about.
That's interesting though. I like when you saying someone secure can fix like either avoidant or anxious. That's because I feel like I don't know if I agree with that. Is that like something that was like studied too?
Yeah. So an anxious and an avoidant relationship, that can still be fixed, but statistics show that only 25% of those relationships actually work out. But it has to have both of the partners actively work on trying to stay away from their survival mechanism.
Like
The way they cope, the way that that's their way of surviving. I have to keep chasing to survive, or I have to keep running to survive. Mm-hmm. But it is shown that it is easier for a relationship to work out in that dynamic if there is a secure person in there already teaching either the anxious or the avoidant.
Oh, okay.
The right way.
Yeah.
The healthy way is basically what I'm saying. What was the the most you kind of delved into like the attachment styles?
I saw that there was a disorganized, I saw that there's the anxious, avoidant, and then the secure.
Yeah.
I don't really, like, I do know a little bit about like each of them and like what they mean, but you telling me that whole part about the statistics being that secure people can like mend the relationship and make it better, that's interesting. I would think it would just be the opposite, you know, because you can't force someone to change. So it's like, how does that work?
Interesting.
So what I'm saying is like, I'm not denying like the results. I'm just interested on
Yeah.
how that works.
So here's my thing. I think like you just said, you can't force someone to change, right? You can't. You absolutely cannot. You can't bring, if a person doesn't want help, you can't bring them to a psychiatrist, even if they didn't want to. That person would have to be willing to change.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it takes active free will participation to work to fix that.
Okay. So what are the percentages on?
I actually don't know. I
Because that's interesting. Because you said 25% of people that were anxious and avoidant were like succeeded. Now I'm wondering, okay, if someone was secure with someone that's avoidant or anxious, what were those?
When I was doing my research, I only researched on the relationships that succeeded. So I wouldn't actually. I don't know this. I'll get back to you on that because actually that's a good question. There's also this thing called like every relationship that you have, you also like you can be secure with one person, but the next person you can be totally anxious with.
Okay.
So like, not trying to delve into your past a little.
As she dives in.
Why every time I say something you somehow like
Hey, this is an interview, okay? How long have we been friends for?
we've been friends for a while.
I'm just kidding. Do you think that you lean towards a specific attachment style? Have you ever like taken a test? Because I know there are tests out there that helps you discover what your attachment style is.
You know what? I'd never taken a test, but I did read what each one meant. And I feel like I was able to kind of see like, okay, like this one relates more to me. I think a few years ago, more disorganized. Like I was like really anxious about like if I was enough for someone. I was avoidant when I felt like maybe they weren't giving me like enough attention. But that's why I say like it's better to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. So that's what I did. I put myself in very uncomfortable situations, and I was able to almost like look within myself and realize that I was like in that disorganized kind of like state. So over time, I would say when I first started reading about that, I felt more disorganized, but as I became more aware, I felt more secure.
I like that. Because I feel like that's the only way for you to even help yourself.
Well, that's the first step is awareness.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time.
That's always the first step to fixing anything. You have to acknowledge it's a problem.
And I feel like that's why I also find self-awareness very attractive. Because if you're aware of how you like affect the people around you and yourself, then why wouldn't that be like something that's attractive?
Nice. Can you delve into that? Self-awareness is another aspect that you find attractive in a woman.
Yes. So someone who's aware of how their actions affect me, or someone who's aware of how their actions affect themselves. Because if they're not treating themselves right, what makes me think they're going to treat me right?
How can you love others if you can't even love yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So self-awareness, I feel, is like a very attractive trait. Just because, I don't know, it also adds character to a person. I'm not sure in what way, but there's something about self-awareness that makes you have a deeper connection to someone. I don't know what it is yet. I can't think of it right now.
I think it requires some vulnerability. Because, like, just speaking from personal, like, I've become aware of a lot of things, like a lot of problems I have, since getting into my relationship. I mean, I kind of was aware before, but like being involved with somebody, like it brings it out, you know, like there are some things you just don't get triggered by when you're single. So like being in a relationship, it like, and you have to admit it because you're like, oh, damn,
I'm the problem.
this is my problem.
Yeah.
Like I am the problem. You're not the problem. I'm the problem.
Yeah.
And so there's some vulnerability with that.
I agree with that.
You have to admit your
for sure.
faults.
Yeah.
I think another thing is like pride. I think it's pride. You have to be aware that like people who are prideful think that they're correct and their way or the highway. right? Essentially.
Huh.
And people who are a lot more self-aware, I feel like they have a lot more humility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a sense, it's not. Would you say it's not pride that's the problem, but it's lack of humility that's the problem?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times pride and humility are like a seesaw.
Yeah.
The more pride you have, the less humility you have, and vice versa.
Okay. It's like a very like they're polar opposites almost.
And what else? Another attractive aspect you find in a woman, like single guy. Single guy.
Single
You're speaking.
guy.
You know what? You're speaking for all the single men out there.
Oh no, I'm not speaking for all the single men. I'm speaking for myself.
All the women that watch our podcast are going to be like listening to you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You're not kidding, cause. So another attractive trait.
Yeah.
You know what? I think just an overall like good attitude. Cause you can have a bad day, but like you don't have to push it out. There's a difference between like putting it on everyone and asking for the space or like for the extra support on that day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think overall good attitude or just a positive outlook.
I think that even goes back to what we were even talking about with being a whole person. Like how do you self-soothe? Thinking that your partner, can they self-soothe? If they're having a bad day, are they able to be fine with it and like self-soothe on their own, or do they have to put that on me?
Like, do they have to take it out on you?
Exactly.
You know what? That's a good one. I've never really thought of like that specifically when talking to someone. Like, can they self-soothe? Must start paying attention to that.
Yeah, see, that's
Now, you're giving me the.
Every time we talk, we're like, wait, that's another thing to look out for.
Pull out the notes.
I wanted to delve into like more self-awareness. What do you think your problem is when it comes to, I swear, I'm going straight into it.
Go into it.
What do you think your problem is when it comes to relationships? Because I know you've dated before, obviously, because you're talking about your ex-girlfriend, but like, because it takes two to tango, right?
Yeah, it does.
Why do you think your last relationships haven't worked out? Do you think it's something that you have to work within yourself?
You know what? I think the first couple relationships I was in was definitely something that I had to work on. Like I had the self-awareness, but I didn't have the will or drive to like actually see it and change it. And then I noticed that my patterns were becoming more detrimental than actually like helpful. And I found myself like feeling down all the time, wondering like why I'm always feeling like a certain way. And I was like, you know what? Okay, now it's time to accept the fact, and maybe I'm the problem.
What were some of those problems, though?
Some of the problems, I definitely was avoidant at times, like when I felt maybe like lack of attention.
Yeah.
Anxious too. Actually, like my first relationship, I was very anxious. Just because, I mean, it's my first relationship, so I didn't know, like, okay, how do I when she's gone, what do I do? Like, I felt like, have you ever seen the episode of SpongeBob where Patrick's like, oh, what are you doing? I'm gone. He's like, I wait for you.
Oh, that's
so I felt like
cute.
that. You know, I didn't know what to do, and I didn't have as much like confidence back then as well. So I just lacked that will to, or that ability to just, you know, do my own thing and not worry. And I also felt like if I didn't dedicate all my time to this person, that it would not be good.
Oh, interesting.
Because I always thought about the movies and like, okay, I'm supposed to be like texting her all the time.
Messes us up.
Yeah, the movies.
Wait,
yeah.
so the movies mess up guys too?
Shoot, I hope so. I hope I'm not the only one.
No, it does to us.
Yeah, I always thought I had like this really false like idea of what a relationship should be and like what a guy should do because of all the crap I watch.
Yeah. It gave us the expectations.
Wait, let me ask you something. What do you think are the things that guys should do that is like quote unquote like not realistic?
That's a good question.
That doesn't meet our expectation when it comes from movies, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, like pretty much what have you guys seen in movies that you thought was supposed to be what guys do, but like in real life you're like, oh.
I think movies portray so many like grand
schemes.
Like
showing up
like,
at your door with a freaking
like grand like
radio.
Like grand expressions of like love. Like love confessions, love declarations. Like
you're like out of the window, please, I want to marry. I left her for you. Like, you know, that shit does not happen.
It's not happening.
That shit does not happen in real life.
Yeah, even to this day.
Why not though?
Because it's just so unreal. It's Hollywood. Hollywood makes this. Hollywood finds the best writers to put the most romantic guys out there. And people, normal guys, the guy that you're dating whoever, they can't follow that.
They feel can't. Okay.
Yeah.
They can't reach up to that
makes a lot of
potential.
sense.
And now you're put on this pressure because these women are waiting, are expecting, oh, he's going to come in grand expression, and he's going to come in with a freaking radio and telling me he loves me. But that, I'm sorry, that doesn't really, realistically, it doesn't happen in real life. The way you show love is through your actions and through your words.
Yeah.
And not, I love you, and, you know, I mean, that's nice. That's nice. I just don't think it's realistic.
I mean, I think guys are, or anybody is capable of doing, like, you know, a grand gesture every once in a while, but to, like, expect it all this time. Also, movies show a lot of toxicity. It's always a lot of, like...
You know what? Movies do show a lot of...
Movies?
They do. Okay,
They make profit off trauma.
I'm gonna get into it. I started watching True Blood recently, which is, like, an old vampire show from HBO. But, like... I tell my fiance all the time, I'm like, oh, I'm rooting for their relationship. But also, like, of the main two people, like the human girl and the vampire guy. But I see how toxic it is. Like, he's always getting her into danger. Like, did he make a great declaration of his love for her? Yes.
That's
yes,
what gets
did.
the girls.
But,
they think that's what gets the girls.
But, like, he's lied to her. Like, he's done so many things to her. And it's like, it's toxic. But yet, it's what you want. At least in, like, that fictional setting, you know?
You know, a lot of movies show avoidant and anxious attachment styles, too. Like, for example, Iron Man. Have you seen Iron Man? Like those movies? Marvel movies? The first one?
The first one?
Yeah, like the first one, he's super avoidant. Like, you can see that he's, whatever love that he has, he just, no. Yeah, Yeah, Hollywood shows a lot of unrealistic standards and, like, a lot of toxicity. And we see that as normal because we see that in the movies. And so when it happens in real life, sometimes it's very hard for us to realize that it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Well, that's the part that sucks about it, because I feel like it's pretty prevalent in our society that they do that purposely to kind of add, like, character to the person. Like, make it more relatable.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a pro for sure. It makes it more relatable. But at what cost?
No, yeah, for
cost,
sure.
right?
But that's crazy, you know? It's like, it's so out there that they have to do that.
Well, I have a question that kind of relates to it then, a little segue. What do you think of how dating is now?
Shoot, I can't really say I wish it was like back then, because I wasn't born 40 years ago.
Oh, so you're more traditional, I'm assuming.
I would say, but I don't want to say traditional, because I feel like it's a lot of toxicity behind that too.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
That's fair.
we'll delve into that in a
we
bit.
can get into that. I definitely feel like social media has ruined a lot of, like, dating, just because, I mean, I'm probably not the only person to say it, but when you have a screen where you could just message anyone, like, that makes it seem like you have all these options. But really, like, to find someone solid nowadays, it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
And, you know, people just hide behind the phone screen and say nice things, but how often is it, like, genuine? So I feel like nowadays dating's just different. I can't say if it's worse or better. I would probably say maybe it's worse than it was before. But, you know, I think it's different for sure with social media and all that.
Yeah, social media plays a big part. Imagine if there was no social media. I mean, social media is needed, like, because that's how people meet nowadays, you know, like dating apps and all that. But it's slippery slope for sure, because you're so accessible, and I think that's when you have to, like, you know, obviously put trust in your partner.
And usually, I feel like nowadays social media or just dating in general is all based off validation.
Explain. I like that.
I mean, so you asked, like, how dating is different now. Well, social media, but in the sense that, let's say a guy posts a picture, he gets a bunch of DMs from, like, that's all validation. Like, his brain seeing that, he might not think it, but his brain seeing that is, like, producing dopamine and making him feel good. Same thing for women.
Guys get DMs. I didn't know that.
That's cold.
Hey, guys and girls get DMs. Come on, don't try to point fingers over here.
No, there's thirsty girls out there.
So, I mean, there's thirsty guys too.
Yeah.
There's thirsty people who just like that dopamine. It's like going to the casino. You know, you get that quick dopamine rush and then it goes down and then you do it again and it keeps coming up. So social media has like a way of, definitely you can't say that hasn't affected dating. That's
Oh,
all I'm
for
gonna say.
sure.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Do you watch Andrew Huberman?
I don't.
I know you know him though.
I do know him.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
What you were just talking about, dopamine rush. He has this one last. I think his latest episode. He talks about like the dopamine rush that you feel in a relationship, and it's the same thing. Where like social media, guys, whenever you hear a ding, a notification, and it's from Instagram, you get a dopamine rush. Casino. What are the other examples? I don't know. I don't know the other examples.
Drugs.
Lottery tickets.
Yeah. Yeah, lottery tickets. And he just talks about how like he had this guest on and she was talking about the difference between a relationship where you grow up with someone versus you've already developed yourself and then you meet your person. And the dopamine rush is so different between the two.
I feel like, well, growing up with someone, it would be smaller, right? Just because you've known this person for so long.
I'm gonna be honest, I did not listen
You
to
remember?
that episode. I don't remember.
But see, that's the thing that's sucks about brain chemistry is like something like a dopamine spike. It's something where your brain gets used to it. Like those receptors will become dampened over time. So you always want more.
Yeah.
So it might not be like the same thing that you get, like a DM or a like. Next time you might want a full-on conversation or something like that. Dopamine needs to keep going up for you to
Yeah.
still feel it.
Slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope.
Okay, with that, so social media has ruined dating, right?
I would say so.
Okay, what would you change? What would you
What would I
you
change?
make
Shoot.
different
Ooh.
about like the dating scene?
That's a good question. I
That
don't know
is
if
a good
I don't know if
question.
I
I
can-
like that.
What would I change about the dating scene? If I had the power to just change the dating scene. Okay, if I had a mystical ability,
Uh-huh.
it would be to prevent social media being a gateway to dating people.
So you just hate social media, do you?
I don't. I hate what it's done to not even just dating, just society in general.
That's fair.
A lot of people are superficial on their Instagram to portray, so and then you meet them in person and they're like way different.
So different.
Yeah,
Yeah, because all you see is the highlights.
exactly.
Yeah, and you post what you want people to see. You won't be posting like the worst videos, worst pictures,
Exactly.
your true colors.
And imagine you're having a bad day and you see someone who's having the best day every day. And
Yeah.
you're just
Yeah.
like,
And
why
that's
can't
what
I
they
live like
portray.
that?
I
Every
think
single day.
this is the time to advocate for posting how shitty your life.
I will post every day how shitty my life. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe we should start a new social media.
You, all right.
Everyone's
you,
competing to be down bad.
Yeah, you just. What's the opposite of down bad? Up good.
We want to see the real you.
Tell me you're up good, dude. Okay, so like knowing that, I feel like we've delved into what you want in a woman. What do you think you bring to the table? What do you think you bring to the table as a man? If woman of your dreams came up,
I definitely think I bring a person that's committed to continuous self-development. And I feel like lately I've been on my stuff. I've been working on becoming more secure. So that's what I would say I bring to the table.
I think it's so hard to find genuine people out there, a genuine person out there, especially like you just said, someone who has that same like grind set as you. I feel like it's very hard to decipher that with social media because a lot of people, like we said, can portray themselves one way, but in real life, they don't. Have you ever met someone that's you wanted to date someone and you're like, oh, she's woman of my dreams, everything, and she ends up falling short to your standards? It was more of like a facade.
That they put up? Huh.
And how did you handle that, if you did?
I think a past relationship was like that. Yeah, there's definitely a past relationship that had that dynamic. How did I handle that?
Well, how did you recognize that, and then how did you?
Well, see, the thing is, at the time, I didn't recognize it, and I didn't handle it well. But because of that, I learned from that. So at the time, I was with someone, and I thought, I mean, it does take two to tango, but like when I explained to everyone around me, they all told me like, you gotta leave.
Yeah.
But I didn't. So now I was like, okay, like I don't know what to do. Like, how do I find like the self-respect to like walk away?
Yeah, that's hard.
It is hard. It is hard. And no matter how much people would tell me, is like I didn't know what to do.
So what were some of the signs that she was exhibiting that you were like, oh no, not this?
I mean, just doing the things that she wouldn't like me doing. So, like, for example, like, I would get in trouble for just even talking to, like, a female friend. But, like, she would do it, like, all the time with, like,
Yeah,
everyone. And
double
I was
standard.
like, okay. And then I would try to bring it up, and it was, like, different.
Oh,
So,
just because I'm a girl, I can do it.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you end up resolving that then?
How did the whole thing get resolved?
Yeah, like how did you find that self-respect to?
That's a good question. You know what? I think it was just I was already mentally checked out at one point, and then I had saw something that upset me, and then that's when I was like, you know what, like,
You're done.
just
How long
done.
were you guys together?
Maybe like a year.
Wow.
But we were dating like way back then, like before, or like when I was in high school.
And then you guys stopped, and then you started dating afterwards.
Yeah.
So you already kind of knew the person already.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, let's give it a shot. I think that's really hard because I feel like that type of dynamic of a relationship where you guys stopped talking and then continued later on, where it's like, I feel like I already have some sort of loyalty to you because we already developed that years ago. We stopped and we started dating again, where it's like, oh, I feel like I have some sort of loyalty and it's not working out, but let me try a little more because
There's just more history.
more history. Yeah. I feel like that's so hard.
It is difficult just because, especially, I'm the type of person who's always want to see the good in someone. So I kind of just ignored what happened in the past and was like, okay, I'll give you another try. Like, let's just,
Yeah.
and then it ended up, not being good. I mean, like I said, it takes two to tango, so it was also my fault for staying longer than I should have.
Oh, yeah.
Starting to like show like toxic signs of like insecurity or like jealousy, stuff like that. So I think on my end, I definitely could have cut it shorter, but
Yeah. But you were learning then.
it was just a learning experience. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's always needed for you to progress.
Yeah.
Because the more, like, let's say, you guys broke up.
Yeah.
You're one step closer to finding that next person,
Exactly.
right?
That definitely was probably one of my lowest points in my life, but I'm grateful for it because it definitely was pivotal. So it definitely taught me like self-respect and like putting my foot down and knowing when to say like enough is enough.
So after that relationship, did you get into a relationship afterwards?
I talked to people, but I didn't get into a relationship. Just because I felt like, I mean, how am I just gonna get into a relationship? Like right after I just
Right.
like ended this really traumatic thing. And I wouldn't say it was traumatic like that, but it wasn't something that was healthy for me.
Right. And after that, I'm assuming that you were a lot more mindful of like certain things that your next partner would say, because you were so careful because of the trauma.
Like almost like PTSD.
Yeah. Like, okay.
You could just say that. I definitely was more aware of
Yeah.
things that I didn't like.
Oh.
But I didn't want to like just put that all on someone else because it's a completely different
Right.
person. I didn't want to just like, oh, she said that, okay, like scoot out, like, or she did this, okay, like your sketch. Like, no, it was more of just like, okay, pay attention to what happens, and then if it becomes a pattern, then you should.
I very much admire that you said that, because I feel like a lot of people who are single, like for a hot minute, like just dating scene, they tend to see the first red flag and be like, nope, that's it. And they get into this cycle where it's like no one's ever going to be enough because they see every flaw in a person.
Yeah.
I like that you said that.
No one's perfect, so that's one thing that I told myself, that like, okay, if I have this mindset, I have to realize that no one's perfect either. It's just if it's a pattern, like if it's a repeated behavior.
Yeah.
Like there's accidents, but then there's choices. An accident happens once, maybe twice, but choices is like repeated.
I like that.
And that's something that happened in that previous relationship that I kept like making the excuse of it was a mistake, but it just kept happening and happening. So that kind of got wired into my brain. Okay, if it keeps happening and you don't like it, like that's disrespectful.
Yeah. Well, that's good that you view relationships like that.
Yeah, it's pretty healthy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's pretty healthy.
This is Weird Therapist for today. Good job. You've done so good.
What is one thing you feel that girls misunderstand about like guys and dating?
Ooh, man, there's There's a few things.
Tell us.
Go ahead.
Tell us
Give us
all
the
of it.
list. I want bullet points.
Okay, I'll give you guys one good one. Let's see.
No, tell us 5. Okay, I need to
Omar
know.
doesn't want to be hated.
I need to know for myself. Okay.
Cut you deal. I'll give you one good one. I think, but it just really depends on the guy too, though, because I can't speak for everyone.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
But I think girls who want a man think that he wants a mother, but I feel like a man wants a partner. And I think that's why there's so many like insecure relationships between men and women, just because often, or not oftentimes, but more than not, a girl or a woman is doing like all the things that she thinks a guy wants, but really a guy just wants like peace of mind.
So that's what men want.
I would think men want peace of mind.
Is that what you want?
That's what I want. That's why I say I'm like very traditional. Like when I'm older and I have my partner, like I would want to be the one to provide, and then obviously someone else to just give me peace of mind, like when I get home after like a long day.
So growing up, was your family like that, or was your mom and dad where he would come home from work and she would give him peace of mind? Is that why you crave that, because you saw it, or there was a lack of it?
I wouldn't say there was a lack of it, but I also didn't, because my parents actually separated. So there wasn't a lack of it, but definitely the energy there it was almost like it barely missed.
Explain.
It like for example, like my parents would be home and then my dad would, or like my mom would be home, but like my dad would be working, and then he'd get home and then she'd be like ready to go to bed, like tired from the day. So the energies were always
Missing
like,
each
missing
other.
kind of.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but I think peace of mind is something. I mean, if a guy doesn't want peace of mind, then that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah.
Everybody needs peace of mind. You don't want to come home, go to work, have chaos happening, and going home to more chaos. And yeah.
What would be providing peace of mind look like, though?
That's a good question. I think it's different for everyone. I think for me, if we're going off the scenario of like coming home after a long day, I don't have to come home to like a cooked meal or like my stuff taken care of. I just want to come home to someone who would just sit there in peace with me and just listen. Or maybe not even just listen, because I feel like I wouldn't necessarily have to just rant about my day, but just to kind of like let my energy rest and maybe have someone there by my side, and then maybe talk about like their day so I can forget about mine and then go into mine, like, just like very intimate, like close.
Yeah.
Creating that like connection. So I think connection is important for peace of mind.
Yeah. I mean, there's this new book that I'm reading about relationships. It's really good, I'm telling you. And
I question that.
it is. It's one of the best relationship books ever. It's called The Relationship Cure. But anyway, the first couple of pages of the book, the main reason why people divorce, the main reason why companies fall or families fall apart is because they lack sharing the emotional connection. It's the sharing of the emotional connection, because you can have some sort of an emotional connection, but if you don't share it, nothing gets transferred over.
What do you mean by that?
So like the book gives an example of a married couple. A married couple, they're going through therapy because they want a divorce now. And the scenario is the wife comes home from work and she's exhausted. She just wants to go to bed. And they haven't had sex in like months or whatever. But everything else is great. Now, the question is, why are they divorcing? So the book goes on, but it basically says that there's a lot of things that this husband and wife just don't talk about. A lot of things, there's a lot of miscommunication because they don't share the emotional connection that they have. And I think you were trying to delve into that with sharing, we were talking about sharing that emotional connection.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually like very on point. Like, for example, you have two people and then one of them gets home after a long day, but he doesn't know that person had a long day cleaning the house, like cooking, maybe went somewhere and got into some road rage or something. And then immediately, person getting home thinks it's all about them and starts dumping all their stuff on them. and the other person doesn't even get a chance to speak. So that's why I feel like in that scenario, getting home to like some quiet and then sharing like more of a more passive like conversation would be like
Ideal.
what peace of mind isn't what ideal is.
It's good.
Because and then it's more of like like sharing a connection and actually connecting versus like one person talking and another person just regurgitating their response.
Yeah. One person received but regurgitating, but it's
Yeah.
like an actual.
Because it kind of sucks when you've had a bad day, but the person you're like with like just thinks it's all about them.
Yeah.
So you obviously want to make sure your partner feels like they're heard too.
You have to find a partner to even be aware of that.
Yeah, that's why I say self-awareness is important, and it's attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that takes some consideration too.
Consideration.
And like being mindful, like, oh, even though I feel like I feel like shit right now, how does my partner feel?
Because then you can go through it together rather than like from like a third person perspective or just like the outside looking in. I feel like.
Yeah. Or it's like one person and one person. That's it.
So healthy.
It's like, oh,
Look at you. Look at us being healthy. Look at
you
that.
should throw a little picture in there with like a broccoli or something. So healthy.
We're healthy. That's it. I have to find out how to put graphics in reels.
That'll be your first one.
Yeah, that'll be my first graphic. That'll be good. But yeah, what do you think of our conversation as a whole? Do you think that's shifted your way of like viewing yourself as a partner in a relationship? Do you think that's opened your eyes to something?
Have you become more reflective?
Yeah, for reals.
I think I'm pretty happy that I've like grown, and like now it's kind of like I'm like realizing it. Because I mean, definitely, if this conversation happened like a couple years ago, definitely wouldn't have the same responses.
Oh yeah,
So-
you're not even the same person as you were yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. I'm a completely different person today.
Yeah. So I mean,
Are you still uncomfortable?
No, I'm very comfortable. I'm pretty comfortable.
no, we have to get uncomfortable. Run. Go talk to my dog.
100 push-ups on camera. I'm just kidding.
Well, I just wanted to thank you for coming along. I think we've learned a lot about you as a person.
know.
No, I should have asked some questions too.
I feel like I know you so well that I see you at the gym like, oh my gosh, I know so much of your brain. This is so crazy.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, from now on, I'm gonna see you and be like, wow, I know.
Now you have more to talk about than his dog.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Are you still going to be interviewing me in person too?
I'm gonna come up to you and I'm gonna be like, how do you feel today about you?
Hey, you look sad. Did something happen?
You look really sad. Was it your dog or was it someone that you're talking to? Well, thank you for coming along. I feel like we learned so much about you. I learned a lot about like the single man's perspective in a relationship. Like mainly it's not more of like the physical attributes of a person, but it's more deeper down, you know, self-awareness, someone who's more considerate, someone who's also like a hustler who knows, you know, what they want for themselves. So
I definitely thinks it takes a couple tries to get to that point. I feel like in the beginning it's more like physical attributes for most people, but then as you get older and you go through more experiences, it definitely changes.
So okay, last question. Last question. Let's say you're walking
I feel like I
down
already
the
know what you're gonna ask.
street. What am I gonna ask?
No, when I first started dating, I didn't go just for physical attributes.
No, I'm not
Okay.
gonna ask that. I actually know. I'm just kidding. Okay, so you're walking down the street.
Uh-huh.
You see a fly ass hoodie.
Honey.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Okay. No. Okay, I'm just kidding. All kidding aside. Would you say that you see a person and they're not as attractive, right? Or the type of person that you normally go for, and like realistically, would you go after them and they have everything else that you're looking for, just not physically?
As in, like, they've maybe not just walking down the street. Maybe like you heard
Like
them.
I talk to them?
Yeah, like you either talk to them a little
Yeah,
bit.
because if I see them across the street, I'm like, how am I gonna know all this about you? It would probably have to be an actual face-to-face conversation.
Okay.
For sure.
Then what if you talk to them a little bit?
If I talk to them a little bit,
Yeah.
and I felt like there was like I liked how they were, I would continue to talk to them and try to get to know them a little more. I definitely would go for someone who has like
Not as like physical.
not as physical, but if like all the like emotional and like mental and all that's there, oh, 100%.
I love
100%. Yeah.
Realistically?
Realistically, no. Realistically.
Don't lie.
I mean, no. But I do have to be somewhat attracted to the person. I can't just like not be like. I mean,
Like imagine.
physical attraction is important.
Yeah.
But
Do you
it's
think
not,
physical attraction grows?
I think so in the beginning, because I feel like sometimes, like let's say you're talking to someone and they're not really your type or what you go for, but then you start liking them more. Your brain will actually make you perceive them more attractive. So.
Like, okay.
But I don't know if it keeps going forever. And you're not gonna be 70 years old, like, oh my goodness.
Okay. Nanny McPhee looking ass.
I don't know who that is. You're gonna have to pull up a picture.
All right, hold on. Okay, who?
You don't know Nanny McPhee?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, hold on. Let me show you. Nanny
It sounds familiar though.
She's the lady with the hat and the tooth, and she's like British, and she's like the ugly Mary Poppins.
The
Okay.
ugly Mary Poppins. Let me see.
Okay, let's say you're talking to a fly ass honey, and Nanny McPhee comes along. And she completes everything that you want in a woman.
Is that her on a bad day or a good day?
Everything day. That's her all around. She's a down ass bitch, so she's always like this. Okay.
I got lightheaded.
I don't know, because she's like a lot older than me. Like,
No,
what?
she was your age, but she looks like that.
What?
But she completes.
Let's say you're 40.
But she completes everything that you want in a woman.
That's hard because, I mean, I do want to be somewhat like physically attracted to this person. Hey, but I would have to be in this situation. It might just like if you're really that cool and you're all there, like
You heard it here, folks.
it might.
If you look like Nanny McPhee and you want a shot with Omar, he will give you a shot. He will give you a try. He's like, punch this. You look like whoever that is on his shirt. And I don't know who that is. I don't watch horror movies.
Michael Myers.
You don't know Michael Myers?
don't.
Oh my goodness. But you know Nanny McPhee.
This is the type of movies I watch, okay?
This is like iconic.
Those are the types of movies you watch. But you heard it here,
Oh my
folks.
God.
You look a little funky, a little messed up. Omar will
You
still
got
give
that buck tooth.
Omar
That
will-
snaggle tooth.
Omar will still give you a shot. Okay? That's a promise or what?
No promises.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. All right. Well, thank you for coming along.
If you guys need a personal trainer, Omarfiitt, Omar Fiitt. And if you guys want some of my clothes, it's gonna be power.clothing company. Instagram, yeah. I'll probably try to set up a TikTok soon.
Oh, cool. All right. We'll follow you on TikTok.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon. I can't get used to TikTok.
No?
It's brain rot.
You're Mr. Entrepreneur. I feel like I've always known you as Mr. Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur back when I used to sell chips in high school.
Yes! Oh my God, I remember
With the black bag.
Yes! Yeah,
I was
forgot
like,
about that.
you guys want some Cheetos?
I didn't forget.
I forgot about that.
You know, at one point I started selling ice creams too. I had the whole shebang. I had sodas. I had ice cream.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know about the soda and the ice cream.
Hey,
I
hey.
knew about the chips.
You know about the chips?
Yeah.
Women who are out there who are single and are looking for an entrepreneur who will never lose his hustle
And we'll
grind.
always have chips.
If you guys like hot Cheetos, I got you.
And Michael Myers, he got
Before
you.
they banned Red Dye 40.
Are the Cheetos gonna be white now or what?
I don't know.
No, they're still gonna be red. Okay,
But it
they're
just
gonna
can't-
find another red 40.
Are they
whatever
going
it's
to
called.
taste the same though? That's the question.
Maybe.
You know, where did I go the other day? I went to Target and they have these like cinnamon sugar Cheetos.
That's gross.
I wanted to try it actually.
Did you
Actually,
try
I
that?
think they come out for those with for Christmas.
Oh, it was.
They look like little paws.
No, they're Halloween. They were skulls.
Oh, that's weird.
Calaveras, yeah.
Calaveras.
I'll come by.
Nice Spanish.
Hey, you know, I actually speak really good. Tell him. I speak really good
I didn't
Spanish.
deny it.
All right, cool. I
Do you really?
do. Yeah.
I like to bust cats' metaphorical balls.
Let's see. Say a sentence.
Te vas a caer, señor. You're gonna fall.
I'm gonna
Be
fall?
careful.
That was pretty good.
Say hola, hola, hola. ¿Cómo estás? Yeah. But thank you for coming on. We
Yes,
appreciate
thank
you.
you.
And we can't wait to see more of your Power Clothing company. That's cool. I'll purchase a shirt next time I go to the gym. That's
I got you.
All right,
Thank
cool.
you guys.
All right. Well,
Fun. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Thank you for coming. We'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day. God bless. And if you have questions, don't ask. Thank you.
Bye.